Hello everyone, this is part 2 of my rhinoplasty experience. In part 1 I included before the surgery and after the surgery, the whole kind of bruising and swelling phase, so you'll be able to see that in my previous video. So if you haven't seen it already, then I'll leave a link up here so you can go and watch it now. But today I'm going to talk more about the tampon removal, the stitches and the aftercare. So I got everything taken out 7 days after my surgery, and this is kind of the part I was more nervous for because I had heard a lot of people say that this is the most painful part for them. Honestly, it wasn't that bad for me. The first thing they did was just check through my nose, make sure that everything is looking the way it should look at that stage. The first thing they did was just kind of move about the tampon just to kind of loosen it up, and then they took that out first. Now, I had heard a lot of kind of horror stories about this, saying it's so painful, and even some of the videos I watched, it looked very disturbing, but honestly it wasn't that bad. I expected it to be a lot worse than it was. It literally just happened for 2 seconds, so it was kind of like, I wouldn't even say it was a sharp pain, but it was just a little bit uncomfortable for a few seconds.
Çok güzel temizlemiş.
Много чисто си го държава доста добре.
Şimdi tamponun dikişini keseceğim Hüseyin abi.
Сега ще отрежи конците на тампоните. Няма да го усетиш.
Başını hareket ettirmesin.
Де само да си мориш глечката.
Браво.
Много ми да може да се скъпи.
Я не bileyim onlar bakıyor.
Така,
Окей,
спокойно.
Това ли беше?
Не, чакай. Махаме се още.
I'm molding tampons. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Just do not move your head, okay? It's not.
Това е едното.
Big one.
I'm bleeding it.
Bravo, bravo.
Oh,
Герой си.
congrats. Are you okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
If you're good.
Yeah.
I'll take you too.
Браво.
Oh, congrats.
Това беше.
Супер. Беше страшно. And after they had done that, they used a metal tool which is pretty much like a hoover. So they just put that inside your nose just to clean everything up, to get everything out of your nose. And this also didn't hurt. Again, it just felt a little bit uncomfortable. Honestly, it feels like someone's touching your brain because the tampons were so far up, and also the little hoover kind of had to go quite far up as well.
I will clean. Something like that. Okay. I know it's going to be really painful.
Гадно ще е малко.
Okay.
Най-после.
Дишаш ли?
Да.
Дишаш. Добре. Освободи се от вулкана.
I will check inside of your nose. It's not something hurtful. I will just look. Oh, it looks great.
I'm not sure which order this happened in, but you'll be able to see in the video. I think I got my stitches removed next, and again, I expected that to be a lot more painful than it really was. I mean, it's different for everyone. My friend who got this done said that this is the worst part for her, but for me, it kind of feels like a little scratch, and honestly, I didn't even feel every stitch coming out. Some of them were a little bit more painful than others, but as a whole, it wasn't painful. It was...
Мокро ли сега изобщо?
Не.
И камаш, душа мамаш.
Скъпък ви тече, може да се наглъжни.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
Looks good. There are 2 little stitches. First I will take them After you can check your nose.
Okay.
Close your eyes, yeah? It's not something hurtful.
Готова си.
Have
Само секунда да те пипнем отгоре.
it may hurt a little bit.
В момента е най-продуктивният момент, може да си го представиш. Още ще спадне много, ще се изравни. Може да
Now you have a few stitches inside of your nose, but they will fall down by themselves, so I won't take them.
Okay.
Те са саморазграждащи. Ако видиш по-напред, след месец-два, ако висят, нали, не да ги дърпаш, може да отидеш, нали, може ти също да го държиш. Да. Може да си махнеш, те по принцип са саморазграждащи, тъй че няма да има проблеми. Сега ще снимам нослето да покажем на доктора и после ще сложим една лепенка и ще кажа, ще обясня колко дена ще стои с нея, как ще я махаш и след това какво ще правиш. Тази лепенка е пречи на носа да не се отича.
Специална лепенка.
Да.
Hurts a little bit, right? You're ready.
Готова си.
The part that I would say kind of hurt the most was when she would press down on my nose just to make sure that it's in the right shape, because when you peel off the cast it kind of lifts up your skin, it lifts up your nose a little bit, so this is just putting it back in place. That was kind of painful, but you know, it wasn't really anything scary at all. I also didn't even realize I had this, but I had 2 stitches up here, and I'm guessing this is just where the doctor inserted his tools from. Honestly, I don't really know what those were from, but that was, I didn't even know they were there, and I didn't feel anything coming out. And looking at myself in the mirror afterwards, there was just these tiny little dots which pretty much went away the same day. It just looks like 2 pores next to your nose.
Тази лепенка 5 дена ще я държиш, на 6 ден сутринта слизаш под душа, тук шепата леко, течен сапун или шампуан и се правиш така, да се го попие.
Да.
После хващаш лепенката отгоре и дърпаш лекичко надолу. Купуваш се една мека главичка, те са за мие на белите. Попиваш хубаво пак с течен сапун или шампуан или почистваш някакъв солусион за лице и си правиш пилинг. Прави си го 3 пъти на ден. В смисъл, колко повече диша кожата върху носа, толкова по-бързо се възстановява. Освен това, 1 месец никакъв спорт. Разходка може да се правиш, обаче без да затрудняваш. Втория месец леко кардио може да почне да правиш на пално темпо, да, по-лекичко така. На третия месец спокойно може да се тренираш. На солариум след втория месец може да се отиваш. След това на козметика, смисъл на почистване за лице след първия месец. След това останалото продължаваш. На 12 ден няма да имаш сини отоци по лицето, ще се продължиш ежедневието. Може да имаш и неравни отоци. От тези неравните отоци може да се изглежда леко крив, обаче не е така, защото отока се появява на различни места. С времето отока като спада постепенно и се нормализира като цяло на годинка. Вече крайния резултат.
Okay, so now I want to talk about the aftercare, and I got 3 different types of pills to take. So I had 1 antibiotic, had a painkiller, and I had another pill which I'm not really entirely sure what that was for. I'm assuming it's just to help the recovery. So I had to take those twice a day, and I didn't really have like a set time that I would take the pills. I would kind of take them just whenever I woke up, whenever I had a little bit of food, and then after my breakfast or after my dinner, that's when I would take the pills. So one thing that I had to do, which I hated the most, and I actually mentioned this in my other video, was actually clean my nose with this spray. This is the nose spray I got given. It's pretty much just salt water. And I had to use this for, oh yeah, sorry, I didn't mention. So the pills I had to take, I think I took them for approximately 7 days. I got instructed to take them until my antibiotics finish. So as soon as my antibiotics finish, I get to stop all the other medication as well, except from this one, which I had to spray up my nose for 3 weeks after surgery. After spraying this, sometimes your nose might bleed a little bit, but that's nothing to worry about. It's just because the intensity of this spray is quite big, and obviously your nose is still healing. Yeah, so this I started using as soon as I got out of hospital, and I had to use this 5 times a day, so you can imagine how gross and uncomfortable I felt. This is the thing I wasn't looking forward to at all, but you know, it's necessary. You need to make sure that you keep your nose clean, and that, you know, you're doing the aftercare correctly so that you don't have any complications and whatsoever. And then this is the second nasal spray. It's called Nasalinem, and this is the second nasal spray that I got given. This is more like an oil, so it didn't feel gross at all. It was actually soothing for my nose. It feels like an oil. This is to help heal your nose. This is to clean your nose, and this is to heal your nose. So I started using this after I got my tampons taken out, and I'm actually still using it now. The doctor said to use it 3 times a day, and to use it until it finishes. I have a tiny bit left now. I have maybe about, I don't know, another week of usage. So yes, so this is all my aftercare medication. Oh, I forgot to mention, actually, I had one more piece of medication which I didn't get from the doctors. This is what I bought myself. I just got some arnica cream or arnica gel, whichever one you have, it doesn't matter. They both do a great job, but what this is basically a cream or a gel that you put on your bruises and your swelling, and this is just gonna help cure the bruising a lot faster. And I'm someone who bruises very easily. I'm very pale, so this arnica cream definitely saved my life during this period of time, because I was very swollen, as you saw, and my bruising actually wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. It was just mostly the swelling. I actually still have like dark circles under my eyes and a tiny bit of bruising, like 2 dots right in the middle. Obviously I can hide it with makeup, but sometimes it still comes through. Wait for it to go by on its own. You can't really do a lot about it, but what I have noticed is just drinking a lot of water definitely helps to make you look a lot more refreshed and helps with the healing. So this is what my skincare routine consisted of. So I bought micellar water, some cotton pads, and wet wipes. So that's what I would use to clean my face in the morning and in the night. So after a long day of being out, you get sweaty, you get dirt on your face, and because you can't wash your face the way you normally would, I would just use some micellar water and some cleansing wipes just to make sure that my skin is clean. Also, because I got my surgery done in the summertime, I thought layering a cream or a moisturizer on my face would just feel a bit too heavy. So what I did was I bought bio oil, just a small bottle, and I would put a few drops on my hand and just smooth it across my face, and this would obviously moisturize my skin. But the second reason I bought it was because bio oil actually helps with scarring, and if you have any imperfections, things like that, if you put some bio oil, it's going to help a lot with the scarring. So after I got everything removed, I would also put some bio oil just on the tip of my nose where my stitches were, and that just helped to heal my nose a lot faster as well. So that was pretty much as far as I went for my skincare routine. Another tip that I could give you is I bought these little cotton earbuds, so you know, the things that you clean with your ear with. What I did was I actually sprayed some of this saltwater spray on a Q-tip, and I would just kind of put it inside my nose to clean it, because sometimes this didn't work on its own, so I just had to go inside my nose and just give it a little clean. It didn't hurt or anything. You have control over this. I found that very useful, just to make sure my nose is nice and clean on the inside and that I can breathe with nothing getting in the way. Another thing that you can consider buying is one of those airport pillows, but I didn't end up getting one because I tried out a few different brands. and honestly none of them felt comfortable for me, so I just didn't bother buying one. But luckily at the hotel we were staying at, they had these big pillows, and I just kind of put like 2 or 3 pillows on my back, and I kind of just like lie down like this. So the sleeping was okay, it wasn't bad. But I would say after a few days your nose does start getting itchy, and that's because of course it's healing, and you don't really feel the tampons inside your nose, but when you sleep it is a little bit uncomfortable. You know, it's something new to your body, you're not used to sleeping like this, so I would say that's the only downside. It's just, you know, the sleeping and it just feels uncomfortable on your nose. That was maybe the worst part, just having those tampons inside my nose, but honestly it was bearable. It wasn't like, oh my god, I can't live like this. Like, you can, but it's just not as comfortable. That's the end of my little rhinoplasty experience video series that I did, and I'm gonna make a final video about my nose job, which is going to be a Q&A where I'm going to answer every single question that you guys have. I'm also thinking of making a 6-month update and a 1-year update, just so you guys can see how my nose recovers over time, how I feel about it, if everything's the way it should be. And again, like I said in my previous video, this is me 1 month after surgery, so my nose again is still healing. It's not at its final potential, so you will probably see my nose change a little bit. Some days I wake up very swollen, other days I wake up looking as if it's pretty much recovered. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, because there you'll be able to see more of me, more of my day-to-day life, and of course I'm going to post a lot more updates on there. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you have any more questions then feel free to leave them down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!